is easy because it doesn't have any hidden letters like the word like she, she. When I was learning English, I used to say sishi, but it's she. See what I mean? But in Arabic, whatever you see is whatever you say, is whatever you speak. See what I mean?
Okay, I get
So,
that. Hi, Ying.
Nice to meet you, Mohammed.
nice to meet you, Yang. How do I do that? Now I see you both. Perfect. I'm still getting used to Zoom.
Oh yeah, that takes time for sure. Um, Mohammed is just sharing his idea. Do you have one lesson written or multiple?
Oh, I have one lesson and I wanted you guys to see it. And after that, I will follow the same procedure
Yeah.
and I will change the secondary topic. So the first, like the main topic for me is I want them to be familiar with the letters. And hopefully, if they practice, like if it's one lesson in a week and they practice 10 minutes to 15 minutes each day during the week, by the next lesson, you should be able to be really good at it.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, I just want you to know I'm recording this so we can use this for training. Are you okay with that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it says you're recording. See that?
Nice. So one thing about that right away that I'm worried about is so you said that if they can read the letters, you said they'll know what the word means or they won't know what the word means?
No, they will be able to read the words.
Okay. But does that
And
but like in English, like if I know the letters, I still won't know what the words mean.
and this is where the second topic comes to.
Okay.
If we go through the lesson, you will notice some like think about it like this. I am teaching you A and double B and LE.
Yeah.
Teaching you when you see the word apple, you read the word apple. So you say apple.
Okay. But will I know what able means?
But right now you don't know what apples mean.
Okay. So that's
So here's what the switch I'm trying to tell you here.
yeah.
When I used to learn English, I knew how to read a whole book, but I didn't know the meaning of every single word in that book.
Yeah.
But because I was able to read it, I was able to do one of three things. I was able to write it, like I was able to write it in Google and translate. I was able to read it to Google and translate. You know, like technology is crazy today. And I was able to ask someone what apple means, and someone would translate it or explain it to me. So the letters is just to familiar, like to make them familiar with the letter. To make them like I'm not expecting them to read.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if they learn how to read in 6 weeks, that would be mighty amazing.
Well, the thing that I'm worried about here is, I mean, I think what you're saying makes sense. Like it makes a ton of sense. But I'm worried that like so our our goal with this program is to get kids feeling excited about continuing with the language. And most people like to feel like they want to continue with something if they can say a little bit or if they can read a little bit. And the
And here is
and the
and here is
alphabet.
where the secondary topic plays the rule.
Okay.
This is where the secondary topic say. So basically, I'm teaching you like 5 letters. I'm letting you be familiar with these 5 letters. But the second topic is actually what's gonna bring the excitement. If you will see, I said Arabic one, first 5 alphabets, and Egypt.
Yeah.
And if we go down, like if we read the lesson, I you will see in one of the points I said they will choose the word they want to learn. So when I show them a video about Egypt and one of them want to learn how to say water, or how to say hi, or how to say greeting, or they want to learn how to say something in food. Like I remember when I did the lesson with the kids, they were very excited about learning their own words.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So I had, for example, Meadow who asked me to learn how to say apple. And she kept saying tufaha every day, every morning. It's like, hey, Mohammed, I have a tufaha. Hey, Mohammed, I got a tufaha. Hey, Mohammed, do you want to eat tufaha? The other, like, one of them was really interested in music and he liked me teaching him how to say guitar and he liked how, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's awesome. You're getting at what one of our goals is. So one of our goals is to get them to communicate, right? And so I'm wondering, would it be more like, maybe it would be more appropriate to have them like do it, just what you're saying, like say my favorite thing is guitar, and then they can say that by the end of the lesson. Or if
Mhm.
that's too much, like
No, that's actually part of the plan.
okay,
Like so
okay,
so basically when I picture 6 weeks program, I picture them being able to see, like if they see just like Arabic text, oh, this is letter B, this is letter A, this is letter C, you know what I mean? And oh, I know how to say that. Oh, I know how to say that. Oh, I know how to say that. So if we represent it to the family, like think about the parents when they come and you tell like and you bring any random page in Arabic. Let's actually speak in English, like an English concept now, and then we can like think about it in Arabic. If you teaching your kid in English and you as a parent, you go and meet with the teacher, and the teacher would bring like a book and say, look at the kids and say, tell me what do you see. If the kid look at this page and he or she doesn't know anything, but they know what you taught them in the class only, that's gonna be a little bit like it's missing something. But when I show the parents this page and the kids say, oh, this is letter A, this is letter B, this is letter C, I think when since like notice what I'm saying, I think, because it's too early for them to know how to do it. But when they say, I think this is the word, for example, TEA, and the guessing, they have a tool they can learn using it.
I agree. The only thing I'm worried about is that our goal is communication, and I'm worried that they won't be able to like communicate a little bit, like because people will feel like, I think learning the alphabet in is something you can do later with them, but I'm hoping that like the focus of our lessons will be more on like you teaching them to say like I like or I don't like, or I have or I don't have, or I'm from or I'm not from this place. Does that make sense?
I would say I'm almost 70% focused on communication, 30% in like
Okay.
them being familiar. So
Okay.
let's go through the lesson and then we can see what's looking
Okay. Well, okay, cool. I'm just confused about like focusing on the alphabet like won't get them to communicate though, and that's what I'm worried about. But
But
if you think
here's
they're
here's the thing. When I say the word focus, it
yeah, yeah,
narrow everything. I am not focused in the alphabet. I'm just
okay,
like putting like that, like it's kind of putting the chocolate in the cake. I'm putting the alphabet in the middle of everything.
okay. Do you
So the
want to
alphabet, like talking about the alphabet would take only like 10 to 15 minutes of class. But the rest of the class is going to be about communication. It's going to be
okay,
about
cool.
say that, learn how to say that. You
So
can
then
talk about that.
if your focus is on communication, then we should make the lesson title different.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
I see what you mean. Yeah, the reason I'm talking to you about it is I want to know what you guys are looking for.
Yeah. So what you're trying to get them to communicate using so you have a lot of goals here, which is awesome, but I'm hoping you could pick just one.
Okay.
Yeah, do you think you could do just one in each of those boxes? Like right here where I am. See, I don't know if you can see my cursor. I'm in the national standards, the world readiness standards. You have interpretive communication, lifelong learning, and relating cultural products to perspectives. Could you pick just one standard to teach to? Because otherwise you'll feel overwhelmed, and the students might too, because you're trying to accomplish a lot. And in what you're doing, it sounds really fun.
Well, I think we should go with the second one then. Lifelong learning. Learners set a goal and reflect on their progress because I believe I'm giving them the full freedom to be who they want to be with the language. You know what
Okay,
I mean?
cool. Okay, so
And
we could go ahead, Ying.
and also we are keep in mind that like Mandarin and like Arabic, we're only meeting them once a week. So by week 2, we want to have that continuation of like, whoa, what did Mohammed teach me last week? Like I can review it and still remember it. and carry on that literacy. Like lesson 1, I learned this, and lesson 2, I'm learning a little bit more from extension of lesson 1. So we're gonna go baby steps, because 1 hour once a week is very little for them to retain that information.
Mhm.
Yeah, different than if I'm meeting you half an hour for 4 days per week.
Okay, let's put this. We got this done.
Nice. That's awesome. That looks good.
Okay, learning target. I said recognize the targeted language alphabet. I said recognize, just know what it is, or even like when they look at it, they kind of know it is Arabic. Because I was surprised with the fact that I remember when I was in the summer program.
Yeah.
What his name? The young smart man with the glasses.
Oh, I know who, Quentin.
Quentin and his best friend.
I don't remember his friend's name, but I remember Quentin.
Name.
They really liked you. They thought they were psyched to be with you.
So what I remember when these two kids, when they met me, they told me like we want to know the letters, we want to know the numbers, and I was shocked that they did almost like 4 semesters or 3 semesters of Arabic, and they
Yeah.
didn't even know the first letter in Arabic. What's his name? Nathan? No, not Nathan.
I don't know.
I'm very sad I cannot remember his name.
Oh,
He's very dear to me.
Kristen, can you expand it your screen?
That is Mohammed's screen. So I can.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
So recognize the target language alphabet. Number 2, answer simple questions in target alphabets about themselves and familiar topic. So when I say like this is Egypt, so I will say I am from Egypt. I'm in Masr. Where are you from? I am from the US, and I'm in America, and I'm in Abu Zabal, and I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's in your town? And my and في مدينتي في تلج. In my town there's snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could you pick just one learning target in there? Because again, like if we have too much going on, the students and you can feel overwhelmed. And I think what you're
But I
trying
don't know.
to do is great.
What I don't understand is when you say overwhelmed, because I remember when I used to do it with them
Yeah.
no, in the what's it called, the building,
Oh, the Emerson.
the Emerson.
Yeah.
It's like having 3 targets sounds a lot, but having 3 targets together, like they are one target, but they are 3 different things, are not the same. Of like, because I remember I used to tell them like, here's the video. What would you like to learn? I give them the word, and then we switch to numbers, and then they make a statement, and we just keep using them through the whole class.
Yeah.
And that's what they liked.
Yeah. I think you can do all of that as long as you would just have one target though. And remember, these are only going to be like, I mean, if you want, you could have 2 targets. You could have 2. But learning the alphabet wasn't one of our learning targets. I don't know if you saw that. Um
Okay, so let's take away the alphabets.
and I think again, I think you're right. Like learning the alphabet is important, but I think it's if we want them to communicate, like they need to be able to have some words they can use and they know what they mean. And with Arabic, like it's gonna be baby steps, like very small amount of language. Um,
I think that could be in the when you're describing teaching the whole lesson, you could incorporate it, the alphabet, let's say just baby steps, just 5 alphabet. But for the lesson title, probably something else. Egypt, and to learn about Egypt, or
yeah, and you should definitely teach about Egypt for sure.
Hmm.
Do you do you do you think so
Well, the five topics I was thinking about is Egypt, family, street, like to talk about things in the street, because they walk every day in the street. So I was thinking mostly about the things that very common to them to sink the word back in their head, like when they say, like when they see a restaurant, they remember the word matam. When
Yeah.
they see food, actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's great. I think, but again, like a learning target should be very small, like you, because we're really only with them for 6 weeks, like 6 hours, really. And so they're not that it's we want them to be excited about Arabic, and what you're talking about will get them excited. But like we need to focus on just like a few things, like you're like number 2 right here. Number 2 is, I think, exactly what you're talking about. Like, you want them to be able to see a restaurant and talk about the restaurant, right? Or maybe you want them to be able to say, I like that restaurant, or I like, I eat at that restaurant, or whatever, whatever it is. Maybe number 2 should be your learning target for this lesson. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good. I just feel there's so much more to accomplish.
I know. And I wish we could have more time with the kids. And I know they
It's not about more time. It's about the, like, I don't want them to learn. I don't want them to say my name is something without being able to recognize it, like without being able to review it one day. So I'm
yeah.
trying to throw them the tool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what this lesson template is for. So, like, ideally, if you want to teach them, my name is, and then I like, and that's it, like, we'll repeat that in different ways through the lesson. And because that right there would be something that would be really cool if kids, like, you're going to give them lots of different ways to interact with those two sentences, and they'll come away and they'll be like, Mohammed taught me how to say some Arabic. I feel so awesome. And
But if you actually ask about the feedbacks, if you talk
yeah,
to the feedbacks from the last time I was with you guys,
yeah,
you will notice Meadow, which was the youngest,
yeah,
and Burnett and Storm. These three, what they were like, they were crazy about the fact that they were able to write from 1 to 10 and write their names, write their names, not to say their names, to write their names, and to make math in Arabic. And that's what they enjoy the most. And when I used to give them, like, I
cool.
remember one time I told them the alphabets and I gave them just 5 letters. I told them this is ta, mim, nun, ha. Yeah, it was the most 5 popular Arabic letters in Arabic.
Yeah,
And then I showed them, like, I made a printout and I told them circle these letters when you see them.
yeah,
And they literally circled it and they were able to figure almost 70% because Arabic is lines, it's all
yeah,
connected lines.
yeah,
So like the way I was shaping this whole class in my mind is you're gonna be able to say 1 or 2 sentences, which is the target you're looking for.
yeah,
You will be able to play puzzles basically. Like I will give you a text and say, like, figure out where's the letters. That's a game for them.
yeah.
And
But letters don't, but sadly, I love what you're where you're going. I see that you want them to walk away with something tangible, right? Like, I can tell that's what you're trying to do here. You want them to master those letters, right?
yeah,
And
and I'm
I
sure
think,
they can do it.
of course, I know they can, and I know with your support they can too. And I also know that they, like, if we are goal, so the Bozeman School District, Mohammed, this isn't like about you or me. The Bozeman School District and the state of Montana is our goal. We want to get language classes like all over the country and the state, right? But we can't do that if we don't teach to communication and literacy, because that's what people like to see. They like to see their kids speaking and using and reading the language and communicating, right? And so, like, those are what our standards are about. And that's how we're going to sell this to the district. Like, look, Mohammed made this awesome awesome lesson that is getting the kids to speak a little bit of Arabic. And they're also learning about Egypt, where he's from and where he's passionate about, right? Like, so that's it's really all about like what the district is going to be happy if we're writing with them in full sentences. Does that make sense?
How can you write my name is Kristen without knowing the English letters?
Well, I can do it without knowing the names of the letters just perfectly, actually, because when kids, like I'm going into like my training as a Montessori teacher, like when kids learn to write, when I was teaching them in preschool, they didn't have to know that their name was Kristen. Like they didn't have to know the names of the letters to write their name. They were literally just copying it, right?
But that's not a language. That's art. That's two different
Yes.
things.
Yes, and what you're doing is like Arabic is, in my mind, it's beautiful and it is art. And you can incorporate the alphabet in little bits here and there if you want, but that shouldn't be the goal of the lesson. The goal should be to like get them to say, or get maybe not even, maybe that you're going to have a lot of kids in that class who won't even want to say anything. They're going to feel too shy and scared to talk.
And this is what brings them out, because I remember Burnett was very
Yeah.
shy. Burnett told me I'm not gonna do anything with Arabic, but I enjoy knowing that I know something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's my point, is that you're going to get them to know something, right? You're going to do it because you're an amazing teacher. Does that make sense? Like, and I
Okay,
think
let's.
like in order to learn the names of the letters or the name of how to say my name is, it takes about the same amount of time and repetition. So in give or take. So literally, like you probably had to repeat each letter over 100 times or more to get the kids to recognize one or two letters, right?
No, it actually took 5 minutes.
Okay, but did they get it like in their head? Are you
Yes,
sure?
if you ask
Okay.
Elizabeth, and you talk
Okay.
to her about the summer camp, and the summer camp, my final project was literally nothing but here's the cards. I want you guys to play a full Uno in Arabic.
Yeah.
And they said every single word in Arabic. They said every single number in Arabic. And
But did
after
they
that,
understand what it meant? Did they know what it meant?
exactly.
They
Because
did?
they did. They said واحد اثنين أربعة 1 4 2 6 أحمر red أخضر green.
That's
Like, you,
awesome.
you see what I mean? Like the main point is give them something small, but something they use.
Wow.
So let's say I'm teaching like, because your name is Kristen, Kaf, Ra, Ya, Sin, Ta, Nun, these are 6 letters. So
Yeah.
in 2 lessons, when you write your name, you will know, oh, this is Kaf, K, R, Reh. Because Arabic and English is not too much different when it comes to pronunciation. It's like
Yeah.
about five,
Okay.
6 letters.
Cool.
And if you ask Elizabeth in the final project, why I keep forgetting his name? Honey? Do you remember the young boy from the summer camp who was very passionate about Arabic? You remember what's his name? Yes. How did I forget his name?
I love it. And you have done a really good job, and these kids learned with you. And that's amazing. And I think what you did in the past was awesome. I'm not criticizing you at all.
It's not criticizing. Like, what I'm trying to do right now with you is, okay, we're gonna have to narrow this
Yeah.
since it's a requirement.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
what I'm trying to think about it is, well, let's give them the main goal 80% and give them something small 20%.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
the main goal, okay, I'm gonna teach them to do 5 6 statements, 5 sentences. While they're doing these 5 sentences, at least they can recognize the 5 letters that I wanna them to know. So when
Yeah.
they see the sentence, when they are doing the art part, at least they know five letters in that word when something.
That's cool. Um Yeah, no, I get what you're trying to do. Would it help if I wrote it up and you watched me write it up?
Yeah, learning target.
Like, no, I mean like the whole lesson. Like if we did a different lesson, like a lesson number 2, and we wrote
Well,
it up in a way that like, because ideally like so like Mohammed, you're going to be teaching, you know, that like in these classes there's like 30 kids, right?
mm-hmm.
And so I think what I like, if you're choosing to do this, and if you end up like we end up using your curriculum, like we kind of need to all be on the same page with this literacy strategy where we're, you know, getting them to walk away with like sentences and words they can say, or they may not say, right? And because we're going to have lots of kids who won't want to say any of the letters or any sentences or any words, right? So would it be like if you and I right now like wrote up lesson number 2 to see where you would go from here? Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Um okay. So let's see. I'm going to share, could I share my screen? And
Yep.
so let's see. Okay. Okay. So let's all right, let me see.
Or you can just override this one. I have a copy. I have a copy for it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We can also just like duplicate it and make it move it to the right. It'll just, yeah, we'll just do this. Okay. So then you at least have like, this one will be lesson 1. And then this one might be lesson 2. Okay. So here is, okay. So let's not worry about the standards or the goals or anything.
Well,
What,
let's change the title then, because this is
okay.
one of the main things you wanted to do.
Yeah. What would you want the title to be for this one?
Well, from what it sounds to be, it's gonna be like communication about a country, something like that.
Okay. So would you want like
And it doesn't have to be Egypt. Like
okay.
I am giving them some sort of cultural background. It's not just Egypt. Because
Okay.
last time I jumped between Egypt and Morocco, and I told them, "What do you think is the difference?" And I, like, all of them just said, "Oh, Morocco likes blue," and I was like, "Yep." Things like that.
Wait, they like blue? What is that? I
They
don't
blue is part of their culture. Like in Morocco, if you look at their baths, if you look at the steam bath, if you look at their
Oh yeah.
architecture,
A lot of
it
blue
has
and
lots of blue.
yeah, you're right. Okay. Um okay. So Ying did a good job of adding in some topics that might be a good topic to use in um so like let's see. You had topics at the bottom, I think, right, Ying?
I'm not sure if it's in this tab.
Oh, it might not be. You're right. Okay, here, these we kind of had some of them. So, like, would you want us to talk about like the history or the art or the music or the clothing or the games or traditions or sports or school?
Let's go with history.
You want to go with history? Okay, cool. What, let me see. Ah,
Can we make it history and music because they both together?
Yeah,
you can. Yeah, history and music. Sure.
Because the moment you show them the video, it has the history and the music. You know what I mean?
Okay.
it could be like the topic could be Arabic history and music,
Okay.
and you
That
can talk
actually,
about different countries
Okay.
besides Egypt as well.
Um, okay. Ah, what is going on?
because this is right to left, so you need to go from left to right.
Oh, I love it. This is great. This is great for my dyslexic brain. I love it. Okay. I love that you changed that. That's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
I had a problem doing that when I was making the Arabic, the 6 feet apart sign. And I noticed, why is the cursor always on the right? I can't move it to the left. I was
I
like, what
love
is
it.
this? Oh, and then I realized, oh, it's reading back, you know.
That's awesome. Okay.
Right to left. Yeah.
So here, what I would do, if you want, we can pick this out now or we can do it later.
We can do it now.
Okay, so this would be we would go pick out a standard that you want them to be able to work toward. Standards are really, really, really big goals, right? So they're not going
So
to
I
be
think
able to
we're gonna go with the second culture.
Okay, this one, relating cultural products to perspectives.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So yeah,
Learners use language to investigate, explain,
Okay.
and reflect on. Yep.
perfect. Okay, I think you already had that one in there. Perfect. So let me get out of here, back to here. Okay,
It's a different one.
what?
Oh, the one I did
Oh, we
lifelong
already erased
learning.
it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll go back to that. I have all these tabs open. Too many tabs open. Okay, so relating cultural products to perspectives. Learners use the language. Okay. So awesome. Okay. So we have one really, really big goal that we're not going to accomplish today, or in that lesson, but it gives us like a big goal to remember what the state national standards are. And then this one would be here. Perfect. Okay. And then, oh, dang it. It's doing this thing where, okay, I think we got it. Perfect. So then the learning targets would be, do you want to keep one of these or do you want to get a different one?
I mean, it could be one or two, probably the most.
Well, let's go with the second one. Answer
Okay.
some question in target language about familiar topics, I would say.
Okay. Did you pull that from the learning targets here, right?
Yep.
In there, right?
I think it was there, yeah?
Okay, cool. Shift up.
Oh, you could just delete it from the cell, Kristen, because he already wrote it.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna do
Oh.
something different, weird, like very OCD of me. Merge it vertically. There we go. Okay, so you want to keep number 2. Do you want to keep anything else?
Did I write those or did I get them from learning target?
I don't know.
So are we supposed to copy the same learning learning target?
Yep.
Yeah, so ideally, like this one is a cultural lesson, it sounds like. So you probably want them to have you may have a cultural goal and a linguistic goal, but you don't have to have both.
Well, we said the linguistic goal is not a main one now, so
Wait, so what do you
Mediate
mean?
simple words based target language about themselves a familiar topic. Let's go down a little bit. Let's find something different.
Well, no, you probably only have novice learners, and novice learners are right here. So these are like pretty simple learning targets that we have for our program that relate to the national standards.
Well, I think third one sounds more accurate. The third one for the
That one?
linguistic.
Oh, stating personal preferences.
And the target language about familiar topic, because I would imagine someone would say how I say I love playing guitar, for example.
Okay, so you're saying are you gonna bring that into your lesson, into history and music?
So when you say stating personal preference and target language. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, no. The third one from the first one is better. Compare cultural difference from their own experience.
Okay, cool.
So that this is the culture goal for your music and history lessons.
So when they compare the culture, like where is Arabic gonna, like how do I do it in Arabic? Like
Yeah,
what I'm thinking about here.
yeah, that's a good question. So you want to use only a little bit of language that you're gonna repeat using. So okay, I'll show you. Like so did you? Okay, perfect. So let's get this. Okay, so when I talk with novice learners about Spanish culture, I make, let's see, I can't think of one I can pull up right now. No, I can. Hold on, let me pull up an example. Okay, so if I want to talk about the culture or a place, lit. Okay, so when I made a book recently for students, and it was all about a place in Mexico. And in Mexico, I picked the state of Oaxaca, which is one of the 35 states in Mexico. And if I can find it, oh, this is French. Where's Spanish? Let me Well, sugar, can't find it. Anyway, the point is it was like repeating over and over again. Like, I want to go to Spain. I want to go to this place, or so it was very, very simple. Like, here's an example actually, that my friend made. This isn't the one I made, but we repeated over and over the concept of like what it looks like there. So like you probably won't, if you want to stay in Arabic, which is great, and you should, but if you really want to go into the history of Arab, like something from, music and history, you're only going to be able to do like a tiny bit. Like maybe you would talk about an instrument that comes from, the Arabic world, like, or and the history of that instrument, right? Like, and you might just repeat over and over again, like, this instrument comes from here, you know I don't know, I'm not giving you a good example, but basically, so this says I want to go to Argentina, and then it shows pictures over and over again of like, that relate to Argentina. This one says I want to travel. This one says I want to go to Argentina. I want to dance the tango. I want to explore the mountains. I want to visit the glacier Perito Moreno. I want to observe penguins. And so, do you see how like it's over and over, like I want, so that the kids can walk away with that phrase, like I want, or I need, or I like, or so you could just like do a history lesson like that, like where it's like, I like this instrument music. I like the instrument because it sounds good. I like that it comes from Egypt. I like that my dad plays this instrument. I don't know. I like, just like whatever it is, you're repeating little bits of language over and over with visuals, if you want, to support staying in Arabic. Does that make sense?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so then the kids could easily walk away and be like, "Oh, Mohamed used the word I like over and over again." They'll be able, ideally, maybe, if you're lucky, like say I like by the end of the lesson. They might say I like the guitar, or I like the piano, or I like whatever. So does that make sense? Like, it's the goal is to use little tiny bits of language over and over again in different ways, so they can say it or feel confident about it, that they know what it means. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kristen, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So in this literary based curriculum, is it do you prefer, like what you just said, to introduce history in a little bit, or is English allowed to then
Oh yeah.
10 or 15 minutes of part of the lesson to
Yeah.
really to use English to explain that part of the culture?
Yeah. If Mohammed wants to do like a history lesson in English, and then talk about like the instrument that he's chosen to focus on, that's
I
fine.
think uh, I think you should change the topic to Arabic culture and music.
Okay. Awesome. Let's do that. That's a big topic. Both of them they're all big topics.
Let
Um,
me let me share this with you, Christine. Like, this is one of the things like That's why I don't need to talk a lot in the class. Like this is the kind of things I like to use.
Yeah.
Let me show you this video real quick. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, let me get out.
So imagine for a second you are the kids here. This is what you're gonna see.
Cool. Oh, wow. So beautiful. Oh, let's go right now.
So for example, like this is here. This is gonna bring a lot of their attention.
Yeah. Those are gorgeous images.
This, for example, or this, or this. You see how he's using the light. This is usually brings their attention. So like
Oh.
they are looking, and if you notice, there's just small English sentence, like literally 3 words, 4 words.
Yeah, it's great. Is that
And
in Arabic too? Is someone speaking in Arabic?
this is not in Arabic yet. This is like to tell them. This is when I like introduce them to what they're gonna see in English.
Yeah.
Like a private pool, for example. What do you mean by a private pool when you have the whole sea in front of you?
Yeah. That's
And
gorgeous.
if we keep moving, they're gonna see there's like a little bit of Arabic, but also there's so much American here. For example, it's gonna come soon.
Oh, wow.
See something like this brought a big attention last time. This is the belly dance,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden this. And usually kids are very interested in hip hop and break
Yeah.
dance and all of these things. So like after they see this video, I usually ask them what similarities do you see to the US, and they say the shoes, it's Nike, and I was like, you guys know Nike. Or someone would just jump from the middle of nowhere. You guys dress the same way as we are, and you have your own traditional dress.
Yeah.
And then I asked them, what do you want to learn in Arabic about this? And I remember Storm said, I want to learn how to say I do break dance. I would love to do break dance. I told them, and I أرقص. Meadow said, I love the food and عايز آكل. And then they keep repeating it to each other, and I asked them to teach it to each other and
Yeah.
telling each other this like the sentence. And by the like, and then in the very like I remember one time Meadow came out and she said, I love you, mom, in Arabic. And she said, what? And she said, I said, I love you. You see what I mean?
Oh,
Because they all learned I love, and because they were
yeah.
repeating it to each other, it's instead of me teaching them everything, they are teaching each other everything. Because
That's great.
kids by their instincts, they like to bargain, to show up, like I know how to do that, and they keep doing it to each other.
Yeah. And that's great. That's a great example. Like you could totally use that video and speak over it in Arabic if you wanted, and say like, these are the shoes or, like,
Yep.
and
So
then you could
it's
watch it
exactly
again.
like this. So it's exactly like this. So this is what I wanted to do, and just add 5 letters to it. Nothing more. You see what
Okay.
I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think for the 5 letters, I can put it like as like something in the very end of the class.
Yeah, in the main lesson plans, you could, that's how you plan out.
Okay, where are we at? Oh, this is not my screen. Okay, back to you, Kirsten.
yeah. No worries. That's a great video to share. It's called This is Egypt.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
is
name of the
Egypt.
video.
It's a big movement. Like I used to work with them, and I did some of the videos they have with them, and it's mainly for like to motivate people to visit Egypt. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's non-profit. It's not affiliated with any company. You know what I mean? It
I
just
love
this is
it.
Egypt. It's a hashtag.
It's really great. It's it's very normalizing. Like this is, it showing how beautiful. Yeah. Oh, good. You linked the video in there. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
We don't see your screen, or I don't see your screen.
no, yeah, I haven't shared it yet. Sorry. That's great. So what on lesson 2, okay, so that's fabulous. So then do you what do you need? Oh wait, so the goal, what would the goal be for if these are your 2 targets, what would your goal be?
So let's take away the first one,
Okay.
and students will be able to recognize the culture of Egypt, since we said, the Arabic culture, sorry, the culture of, or the Arabic culture.
Okay. Well, recognize. Okay. So, but that's very so that's pretty broad. That's a pretty big thing for kids to be able to do. How are you going to show that they definitely did that?
They recognize the difference
Yeah, but like how are you going to know that they got it?
when they speak about it, when they say it.
Okay. So you
So
want to say,
visually, they seeing it visually, they reflecting on it visually by, like, they speak back, oh, the dress is different, the food is different, the coffee is different.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You,
Of
and I actually, like, sometimes they will look at you and say, oh, you guys eat while you are sitting on the floor.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So do you want to, but then I would say even a more specific goal is maybe at the end of the lesson, you ask them like, you show 2 pictures, like one of the United States and one of Egypt, or one of, from Saudi Arabia, or, like, and you say, they can say, um, which one is your question would be like, which one is from Arabic culture? And they have to point to the one. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as a suggestion, because like it would be easy for you to say over and over again, like, which one is Saudi Arabia, and which one is the United States, holding up 2
The
pictures.
issue, the issue with that, like, the issue with this, like, it's not wrong.
Yeah,
My only issue with this kind of concept is it can cause offense. Like, kids might think of themselves, oh, we are different, or like, I don't want them to see themselves as different. I don't want them to feel different. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So then,
Because
but
like, this is like one example happened to me in my life when I used to learn English in
yeah,
intern. They showed a picture about, like, the US, and we actually felt different because we were different. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
that
don't
makes
want them to see the difference. I want them to see the culture.
okay. So
So, for example, when I come to the US, I say, "Oh, I'm gonna eat hot dog." For them, I want to drink that coffee. It's not, our coffee is different than coffee. That's what I mean. Like, student would be able to recognize the culture. Like when they go to their mom and they say, or the dad, or the family, they would say, "Oh, I want to visit, for example, Morocco because they have really weird, nice dish." See what I mean?
yeah, I know, I get it, but I don't know, like, how, I don't understand how you're gonna like, so like as a teacher, we want to be able to know that they get it, right? And I'm wondering that this may not be a good lesson goal, because it doesn't really like they should be able to do something at the end of the lesson.
So let's
So
say
what do you want them to be able to do at the end of the lesson?
students will be able to speak about Arabic culture.
Okay, so speak about what they noticed. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay, we'll be able.
Maybe to identify the the same is this the same thing as difference, like recognize what are the to identify
So let's say something, students will be able to identify Arabic food,
cultures from
music,
different countries.
yeah,
Does,
or Arabic cultural elements. That sounds good
is that
too.
okay?
That sounds really good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and you're right. You're making a good point, Mohammed, that like you don't want anyone to leave feeling bad about themselves, right? Like, yeah. So
I
that's
think I think the big difference between me and you here is, you, like, I feel you are a teacher, so you know much better about kids. I am a kid, you know what I mean? Like I grew up as a kid and I feel like I cannot underestimate what kids can do. Like you see kids as kids. I don't see kids as kids. This is a big trouble.
That's why you're a good teacher. And you have a new baby that like stares at you and smiles.
Exactly. Like
See, you're
I feel my newborns are smarter than me. Like I never underestimated what kids can
I
do.
know, right?
Like I actually believe they are smarter than us.
Yeah,
They outsmart us in many ways. So
yeah,
when
yeah,
I say recognize the Arabic culture, I know they're gonna know it.
yeah, yeah. It's true. You're right. You're
So
right.
maybe vocabulary wise, I am not there yet.
Oh, that's okay. Mohammed, like, I'm still learning. I mean, I don't, there's a lot I don't know. I love that you're willing to do this with us, you know? Wait, is that how you spell your name? Have I been spelling it wrong? Emma?
I actually misspelled it. It's one E.
Okay. Okay, good. Is it one E?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. I was like, oh no, I've been spelling his name wrong.
See, that's another thing about language is like when you spell your name in Arabic, you can write it in many different ways. When I write Muhammad in English, you can write it in almost 100,000 different ways. I don't know how many, but there are so many.
That's crazy. Wow. So what would you want to bring to this lesson? Would you have anything that you would want to bring?
So if we have a projector and computer, that should be good.
Yeah.
Usually I bring pictures and printed worksheets. So
Okay.
basically you can rewrite and
And when
colors.
you say colors, do you mean like colored
Markers?
pencils or markers?
No colors, actual colors where you can draw something.
So like pencil colored pencils or crayons or
Any kind. I
okay,
am not
any
picky
kind.
with them.
Any kind. Pencils or markers or crayons.
Crayons. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then perfect. So you got that. And then what would so this is something you're gonna say to them. So by the you would I literally take the lesson goal from up here, I copy it and I put it down here. And I say it to the class. I say, class by and they know like what they're gonna be able to do. By the end of today's class, you will be able to identify um, elements of Arabic culture. And then they're like, oh, okay, that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna learn about Arabic culture. We're gonna be able to identify something. Okay. Is that sound like something you'd be able to do or say to the kids?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm sure you already do that. Um, okay. So then Yang and I just had a great meeting with Diane Neubauer, who knows a lot about reading and reading in a language like Mandarin, for example. And so she was saying that we don't if you don't want to have them okay, so let me explain something. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this part here, reading workshop, is we're suggesting and hoping that every lesson will have a little tiny bit of reading in it. But in this case, with Arabic, it would be you reading to them, reading to the kids, and then you tell them what it means. Or if you have kids that like to guess, they would guess. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
But
So,
this is what bring me to the main point we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be better if they know 5 letters that has these 5 letters in one word? Because if I teach them the most popular 5 letters in Arabic, I can guarantee for you they can read over 15 to 20 words.
Okay. But the point to me, okay, Mohammed, do you like to read?
Yes.
You do. Okay. When you read, What kind of books do you like to read?
Mostly philosophy.
Oh, cool. Okay. Who's one of your favorite philosophers?
Well, I don't know their names, but things like being wrong. I think I don't remember what's the name of the. Let me see the author.
Okay. Um,
Being wrong.
when you read, do you want to do you like saying the names of the letters?
See, that's the difference. Here, no. See, here is what I'm saying. When I go and read English, I say A B C D E F G.
Yeah.
When I read Arabic, I say A I U Babi Bu Tati Tu.
Yeah.
I see the words in front of me. Like this is something I don't think you like we still see there. When I teach them the Arabic letter, I'm not telling them say Alif Ba. I'm telling them to make the sound of the letter. Remember when I told you
Yeah, yeah.
we all follow the same rule? A I U Babi Bu 32 32.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when they say the word, they will be able to read it, not read the letters. They will read the word,
But they don't know what the word means.
but they can translate it, or they can ask about
Wait,
it.
wait. But wait,
Like
wait.
Kristen, when you learn Spanish, did you know the meaning of each word, or did you learn them through time?
I learned them through time.
But would you be able to read them or learn them through time without learning the alphabets and how to say them
Yes.
in a sentence?
Yes.
How?
Because you don't need to know the names of the letters or how the sounds they make in order to read. Do you know why?
Why?
And I've seen students do this in the classroom because there are teachers who teach in a way that they don't ever know the names of the letter, or nor are they sounding it out at all. If you could literally do this with your daughter if you wanted to, I guarantee this is like a method. Okay. So if you're reading to your daughter for years and years and years and years, and you never teach her the sound that the letter A makes, and you never teach her the sound that a B makes, right? She will still learn to read because she sees the word right in front of her.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
reading by listening.
And because
That's
she's,
different.
yeah, and she's getting it through you reading to her over and
Reading
over again.
reading by listening is different from native countries to non-native countries.
No, it's not. Trust me. Trust
That's
me.
really,
Because literally, I don't teach the alphabet in my Spanish classes at all.
but you read it,
Yeah, I read to them.
and when you read the alphabet,
Yeah, what about it? I don't read the
no,
alphabet.
no, but when you
The
read when you read
alphabet
the
tells me
when
nothing.
you read the word when you read the word, you are literally pronunciating how each alphabet is.
No, because if I read to my students every day and I say, like, let's say there's a paragraph on the wall on the wall, and I'm
Mhm.
teaching in Thailand, and I literally just go, "My name is Kristen," and I point to myself, and then I say, "I like to eat pizza." I don't know. Then they might, over time, if I kept doing things like that, they would still be able to read and they would know what it means because we talked about it. I would say, my name is Kristen and I like to eat pizza. And over time, they would get it and they'd be able to read it. And they don't need the alphabet for that at all.
So they would read it by remembering the shape of the word.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the image. The
Yeah,
same thing. I think the same thing with Mandarin is I know what you're saying about teaching the alphabets of the Mandarin sound
yeah.
in English as well. And I haven't been teaching the alphabet either. It's more for those kids. I think later on they'll catch on much easier once I give them an image with the word and just literacy instead of going dive into the alphabet. More of a traditional teaching. That's what I've always been teaching. I taught early on in my 20s in a traditional Chinese school where it's Chinese Americans, and that's how we teach. The first lesson, alphabet, the first 5, and then 10, and then 15, and then, okay, let's have a quiz, and then we start teaching the words. So I think this is a different approach, comprehension, by understanding what you're saying, to get that literacy instead of starting from the alphabet. It's a different approach, but yeah.
And Mohammed, what you're talking about isn't wrong. Like,
No, no, I'm not talking about wrong or right.
okay,
I
good.
am talking about I want them to get with the. It's like you set a goal, and you
Yeah.
want to get the easiest way to reach that goal. So for me, it's not about the way. For me, it's about the goal. I want these kids when they leave my class, at least they know what is in front of them.
Yeah.
Because I really feel, I don't know if it's me or just normal feeling for any teacher, but I'm no teacher. You have to admit that I am no teacher. The way I'm giving them Arabic is the way I received it, or the way I did learn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically, when I think about it, when I learned Arabic and English and German, when I did study these three languages,
Yeah.
me being able to read the word made me able to structure the sentence, made me able to create my own
Yeah.
sentence, made me able to translate, to build my vocabulary, things like that.
Yeah. So
So for
what
me,
you're
letters are the foundation.
yeah,
I
and I get
like
it. I get what you're talking about and why you want to do this. I'm not like it's a good worthy goal. But the world is moving away from that more traditional style of teaching because we've found through research that kids can more easily and more quickly get to communication without that learning that stuff. Does that make sense?
so basically if I print the paper for them and I read it for them every day, do you
Yeah,
think, or do you actually science believe that they will learn more than traditional way?
yeah.
I would definitely be interested to try that and see how it's gonna work.
Yeah, so they've like I've been teaching myself French like through this method and I don't know how to say the letters in French at all, but I can read some French. And I don't know what every letter, the sound it makes either, but I know what I can tell you what, you know, what il fait froid means. Like if I see that it is cold, you know, like then I can say that I know what it means and I can write it and I can read it and I can say it. And I didn't need the alphabet for any of that. And
So
again,
basically you are heavily using your memorization.
no, I'm not memorizing it. I'm learning it because my brain, okay, this is where the research comes in. So our brains like like context. So if I just go around and I tell you, like, let's say you're learning English, and I'm like, this is a spoon, this is a phone, this is a bottle, you know, like over and over again. Like, yeah, you might get it, but you also might never remember those words again because I'm literally just like giving you a vocab list, right? But if I'm like, oh my gosh, I put my spoon in the jar and I move it around like this and it makes a weird sound, you're going to remember because you heard me say it and maybe we wrote about it and you're maybe and so you saw it, right? And then I did some like weird thing with it and it made noise and you're like you might remember it more because your brain likes to have a whole picture that's interesting and in little bits and pieces. Does that make sense?
Or more like when
And
you're teaching your baby right now,
Yeah.
uh, English or Arabic, you are actually communicating with them. You're not teaching them
listening.
alphabet.
Yeah, listening. She's listening to me. I'm talking to
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
That's
That's
that's what
exactly.
I'm saying. This is learning by listening. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
But she's not in her own. You know what I mean?
Well, these kids
This
aren't
is
on their own
this
either.
is this is
They have
this is
you.
not something I will make it easier for you. This is something we can keep talking about it when we are not in a lesson. Because this is a huge topic. We can keep going back and forth about it. I think we should actually have a time where me and you and Ian and Maulud and even
Yeah.
Mahmoud and like every teacher, you guys need to sit together and actually think about it because
Yeah.
I will keep arguing with you about it forever. So let's move with the lesson. Let's move with the lesson.
Okay, okay. No, I think
So
you're making some good points for sure.
so
Um,
for the reading workshop, let's say teacher will read one line sentence to the kids.
okay. All right. Okay, wait a minute. There we go.
That's related to the
The,
topic.
the teacher will read what?
Like one to two lines in Arabic that's related to the topic.
Okay. And then
It could be as easy as for me, associating with your topic, let's say history and culture and music. You could say Mohammed teacher likes guitar or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Just
that's what I
as
was
simple as
thinking
that.
about.
So they kind of they know your name, Mohammed teacher likes, and then you might do gesture like likes something. How about you? How about you? Or, I like, or I like Egypt. So as simple as that. That would be the
Okay.
reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, so using those gestures is huge. Using gestures, and then you'll just tell them what it's about. You can go back and say, Mohammed likes blank or whatever, and then they'll get it. Like, yeah. Okay.
I was watching this video. This Japanese woman was teaching the baby, and and basically she said, "Put the spoon in my cup." And then when she put in, she comprehend the word "put the spoon into my cup." She doesn't know how to say it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's comprehending it. She understand
Yeah.
exactly what you said. You've been repeating it in different games, like no, put it in. Oh, not no, good, but in. So the mother is repetition. So that's kind of like where we're getting at the comprehension and repeating it uh, in baby steps. But comprehending, they might not need to sound it out. For the first lesson, you might be saying it. You might be saying it only.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. Using gestures, speaking slowly, and then translating to English. My cat is my cat likes having us home.
Yep, one cat.
Yeah, just one cat.
Yeah.
Mohammed, don't you have some pets, right?
My guinea pigs.
That's right. You have the guinea pigs. That's right. How are they doing with the baby?
Well, one of my not nephews, my how do I say it? My
Cousin?
no, my brother-in-law son.
Oh, so your nephew.
Yeah, he's my nephew. Yeah, there's no. I was gonna say my nephew-in-law, but it was like I didn't hear this word before, so it didn't make any sense.
I do that in Spanish all the time. I'm like, what's the That's great.
So
That's great.
now the brain break.
Yeah, so this is
Let's
something
let's keep this as it is
okay.
because they really enjoy this too. Like I usually tell them, like, do you guys want to draw something or do you want to play something? And they say
Okay.
play something. Go for that.
Okay. And usually it should be pretty quick and they end up like it should be kind of like a game and you can do it at any point in the lesson.
Yeah.
When they need it. Oh, and the reading workshop, generally speaking, I forgot to say this, shouldn't be more than like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah. After we change the goal, I would say 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't be that long. Okay. And then the main activity, what did you want to do for the main activity?
Okay. Students will be asked to think of a word in English that has one or more. Let's take away this first part,
Okay.
and let's take away the second part,
Okay.
and let's take away the third part.
Okay.
Okay. Let's make this as one. Students will be asked to share thoughts of the culture video.
Okay. And then
Yeah. See, I misspelled chair.
oh, that's
That's-
okay. It's okay. Nobody's judging. So are you gonna, what's step one? Would you show the video, right?
Yes, so that's
Okay.
number one.
So number one is, like you said, is show a video or the Egypt video, or no,
Show the show the
culture.
culture video because
Okay.
I'm gonna show cultures because I might show one or two. It depends on the time.
Okay. And then step two would be what?
Student will be asked to share their thoughts.
Okay. Students will be asked to share their thoughts of the culture video. And then what would step three be?
Student will be asked to share what word they want to learn about the video in Arabic. This is the word that of
Okay. Got it.
choice.
Students will share, like, say a word they want to learn, you said?
Yep.
Say or pick a word that they want to learn. Do you, when you
In
do,
Arabic.
oh, in Arabic, thank you. When you do this, does it take you a while to get to every kid?
No, usually like I ask them to yell like I'm assuming if it's gonna be 30 or 40 kids,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna narrow it. So I'm gonna say we have 10 words to learn today. You guys can choose one or two.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
And whatever by who's gonna yell more or who's gonna raise their hands. You know what I mean? Like there are so many ways to do that. It's kind of democracy, but in Arabic.
I love it. Okay. So 10 words, right? That come from 10 different students, right?
Or choose two words out of 10 words, for example, because it's gonna be a big class.
Okay, so choose two words, just two?
Yep.
Okay, choose two words that come from 10 of the students. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay.
Because then I can be able to see what they really are interested in.
Okay.
Teachers can influence the student, like the kids' choice. It's like when I hear 5 or 6 of them talking about rap, then I would say, "Oh, rap is really cool, so let's learn that," and they wouldn't even notice that I ignored them or anything like that. See what I mean?
Oh, great. You're awesome. Okay. And then is there a step 4 here?
So we talked about the culture, we talked about the culture video, we talked about the word, and oh, students will learn the phrase of the day, which is like I like, or using the phrase of the day.
Students will, how will they interact with it?
Students will repeat after the teacher the phrase of the word.
Okay. Students will repeat the phrase of the day.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then here is that, and was that everything in the main activity?
I think we can judge that by the end, so we can see how many minutes we still have. But 15 minutes, that should be more than enough for 15 minutes.
Okay. Use your judgment. Is that how you spell judgment? I don't know. Use your judgment to know if you need to cut it short or not. Okay. Or add more.
Like how I said, or not.
Or not. I don't
Okay.
know.
The oral review formative
Yeah.
assessment to check Yep, I think we're gonna remove all of this away.
Okay. So so you said, okay, so you could
Let's leave number 3.
keep number 3.
Yep.
Okay. So on a
So
white sheet,
on a white sheet, rewrite the phrase of the day, or copy the phrase of the day from the board.
okay, cool. Copy the phrase of the day. That.
Yes, the phrase of the day, and you can stop there
Okay.
from the board. So that's it.
Oh, okay, from the board. Got it.
And in terms of assessment,
Yes. So,
and use it out loud.
and use it, or use it, and say it out loud.
Say it out.
Okay, cool. And then here, this is okay. Again, this is something you don't always have to do writing, but maybe this would be where you ask the students like, what did we learn today? And you say
Actually, we can move the
this.
all review to the short writing, so we can just cut it and put it in the short writing.
Okay. And then cool. All right. And then, but then what do you want to do? You want to do a different, like,
Yeah,
I
for
like to do a lot of like true false questions, like true false. Like you would say, like maybe you pick some of the
Yep.
words that the kids shouted out, like you know, in the democracy of the Arabic democracy.
It could be like yes and no. It could be correct, incorrect.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Correct, incorrect. What do we learn today? Is is Egypt at this location correct, not correct? So depending on what you're teaching, the
Yeah.
history user part.
So I would say, yeah, true and false would be the easiest for 30 kids.
Okay. And would you call it true false, or would you like to call it correct, incorrect, or yes or no?
Yes and no sounds better because they usually like to yell no.
Okay. What is no in Arabic?
La la
La
la
ah,
la 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 la.
la 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 la.
No 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 no.
I like
That's
that.
actually the first word my daughter is saying. Yeah, la la.
Ah,
Aw. So,
So ask a cultural question. Ask students to respond to cultural questions by
oh,
yes
you're
or no.
gonna, oh, okay, you're gonna do cultural questions. Okay. Ask students to respond to cultural.
true and
Because
false.
when I say cultural question, let's say they want to learn the word sea. So I would say this in Maya Egypt, in Maya in Egypt is clean, and they say yes or no. Or Egypt has, or they want to learn the word sea, for example, and I would say Egypt has one sea. And they say yes or no. You see what I mean?
Okay.
But I would use the word in Arabic.
Okay. So,
So it's a form of culture and linguistic.
okay, do you usually you're quizzing them here on like something you did in the main part? So is that what you're saying? Like, would this relate back to the video you showed?
It would relate back to the video, and then for the phrase of the day, I would say, like I would like during the day, I'm sure someone would say, I like, let's say they said bananas, or if I say, oh, and I name the students like banana, and they say yes or no. You know what I mean? So using the phrase in Arabic, using the cultural video.
Okay. Okay, true respond to true false questions about the above mentioned video.
And maybe stating preference, like it or not like it,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
you're teaching them I like.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay. And then so the students are gonna like copy what you're writing on the board
Yep.
here.
And we can take away the and say it out loud. So we can take this away.
Okay. And then maybe that would be later, the other formative assessment, if you think they're ready for it.
Well, for the second formative assessment, I would try to ask them to write it without looking at it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So here you would just have them write the phrase of the day, like maybe they
So
would,
they can copy it, they can write it 5-6 times, and try to memorize it. Like the way I teach them how to write their names.
or you could even have incorporate those words, right? Like they could say, I like butterflies, or I like, the sea, or I like, you know, the food that they saw in the video. I don't, you know what I mean? Would
Yep.
that be something you would want to do?
It wouldn't be bad at all.
Okay, so on a write sheet, copy the phrase I like from the board and use a few of the words that students picked to use in sentences. And so this is usually something that you would like do in front of them. And so ideally you would only write like 2 or 3.
Well,
Right.
I'm sure someone will shout like I want to learn a specific word, and writing a word for him to copy, for him or her to copy, wouldn't take 3 seconds.
Okay. So ideally would writing 2 to 3 sentences work for you as long as you know that they understand it and they like
Yep.
it? Okay.
Yep.
And then you would read those out loud to them here, or they can read it with you if you think they're ready.
This will be the part with the class as this. What?
Yeah, so okay, so let's say you have like a kid like Storm, right? Who said, I like to break dance, right? He saw that in the video and you wrote it on the board. You would say, I like to break dance or I like break dancing, right? And then you would read that with them in Arabic and then in English, just to kind of review it, like to reinforce it and get those words in their brain. So they're seeing it, they're hearing it, they're rereading it, they're writing it, like they're getting it in a lot of different ways. So they're gonna leave like being able to say that. Does that make sense? Maybe. So
No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
okay. So do you want me to leave it here and then you would say?
So for shared reading, let's phrase it the way you said it. Teacher will
Read to or with the students out loud in Arabic and then in English. And that's it. And just to make sure they get it, like they've got it written down, they've heard it a bunch of times.
Can you go up a little bit?
What?
Can you scroll up?
Oh yeah.
Scroll up. So down. Let's change the guided oral input to 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Oh, good. You're doing math in your head. That's great.
And let's go to the shared writing and make it 10 minutes.
Okay. Shared writing. Okay.
And let's push the shared reading to 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Awesome.
Okay, second formative, we can say students will be asked to rewrite sentence without looking into it, or based on their memorization, or test their memorization.
So they would what did it say that again? I'm sorry.
Like they will rewrite the sentence without looking into it.
Oh wow, that's impressive. Do they do that when they're with you?
Maybe every one of them they wrote the whole sentence in their own. That's what I'm saying. Like kids are really good at art, so it's really easy for them to memorize things.
Okay. So they'll try to rewrite the sentences without looking at them?
Yep.
Wow.
I don't remember, but I remember when I shared the video with you when they rewrite the whole numbers, when they rewrite the whole letters, when they did the whole.
Yeah.
I think I shared it with you in Gmail.
Okay. Cool. And then that's awesome. That's great. And then do you have any like extra, like an extension activity they could do with their teacher or for homework?
Well, that's what, if you notice, I noticed students will get a sheet to practice the letters, word of the day, and practice the reading of the word.
Okay. Do you want to keep it like it is then?
Yeah, they could take it home. You could have something print out already, or like a link, or like a video if you want them to review it. Like maybe you were only able to show one video, and maybe you want to do a little extension for people who just want to learn more about the Egypt history. You could link it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's say a student will be provided with an extra with a sheet that includes some extra learning.
Okay.
Things like letter, for example.
Students will be provided an extra reading. What is a word reading or work?
An extra practice sheet.
Oh, thank you. An extra practice sheet that relates to the topic
for reading and writing.
Got it. For reading and writing. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Oh. Okay. Cool. And then
we have 10 minutes in the clock.
Yeah. So you could add more time to this.
To the main lesson, I think. The main lesson was like 10.
Yeah, or you
You
could,
could extend the main lesson to incorporate some activities in here or little games.
yeah. Or the brain break, the one you have listed here sounds like it might take longer than 4 minutes. What do you think?
Okay, let's make this one 10 minutes then.
Okay.
And then when I
And
went over,
go on the very top and make it 2 minutes instead of 1 minute.
yeah,
Okay.
Or
We're gonna need,
when we're at I was teaching the Chinese characters, and when we were talking with Diane, she's an expert in developing a Mandarin curriculum. She mentioned that could be a brain break when you're teaching like Arabic character or alphabet. It could be a brain break in that part. So for every sections, every lessons, you could incorporate alphabet or just the character itself into that brain break section where they're quickly memorizing what you're writing and also probably sign
so then in that case, let's go up, scroll up. What did we change?
so this was, this one right here, we said the brain break was 10 minutes.
So let's make the brain break 14 minutes then.
14?
Yeah.
Okay, we are at, let's see, what's the total? 55.
And let's give the second assessment.
Oh wait, I changed this one, the reading.
Oh, that
So
should be
I
10.
just kept it at 10. Sorry.
Yep. So this way it will be good. And let's go for the
Sorry.
go for the brain break again.
Okay.
And just say students would be introduced to 1 or 2 Arabic letters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the reasoning behind it is they feel like those are just, you're just basically memorizing. So and that is good, but they don't want it to be the main part of the lesson. So gradually they'll start to read and memorize like maybe week 6. By the end of week 6, they should be able to know,
So
like,
this will be too long, Kristen, for like keep everything back as it is and just say students will be introduced to new Arabic letters and one of the following.
And one of the what?
One of the following, like the 2 choices we had before.
Oh,
So
okay.
control Z and you would be fine.
Oh, good. Oh, you know the secrets, don't you? Control Z. I
Yeah,
think-
do it a few times because you did it in many stages.
Okay, I'm on a Mac. It's Command Z. I found out.
maybe go, yeah,
Maybe I should just go back to this.
go back.
Yeah.
I
That
won't
works.
do it. I'll just pull it from here. We didn't change it from last time. Okay, this is good. Okay, how do you feel about it, Mohammed? Does this?
I see what you guys want to do. I think I just wanted to do way more.
Thank you for hearing us out. You're
Yes,
you're a
about the way more section, you could definitely put it in the bottom where it says extra activities, or you know, just in case the class go really well, you have a bunch of like bright students that are so engaged in Arabic, you add on more to it, and definitely could be take on less if the cage, you know, if the class needs more time to indulge in a brand new language. So yes, you could definitely put more. I think there's
and engage with one of the following. Okay, so okay, so
Yep.
okay, is that good? You think
You just need to take away the second line.
the second one, the handball game,
No. The second line of the whole paragraph because you're repeating yourself.
right there?
oh
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool.
That should be perfect.
And then Yang, what were you saying down here? Was there something I needed to change?
Mohammed was just saying that I could teach so much more. I said that's, you know, you could totally put it in the additional notes, like if the class are super engaging, this is how much more I'll be teaching, and just add on to, but again, keep the lesson very basic so that everybody for this lesson will learn this from you. And then
But
you can always have,
There is something really nice you did here, Yang, is in the break lesson, I can just give it 5 minutes, like, hey guys, this is the first 5 letters. Alif, ba, ta, ta, jim. We say it this way, a, I, u, babi, boo, tati, tu, and then give them that extra sheet so I know who's actually looking for it.
Yeah.
And when they have that extra sheet, they can learn it in their own. And maybe like an easy way to do it is at the beginning of the next class or while they're doing the next break brain, I can give 3 minutes, 4 minutes to see who's engaging and actually reflect in those who are engaging. So
And
Yeah.
then
it's a,
when you're going to the
that,
lesson 2, then you
yeah,
can review it. You can review it and say that, hey, guess what? Lesson 1, we learned these alphabet. Does anybody still remember it? And you know, it
Yep.
could be a brain break, and sometimes they guess and yeah, that's part of getting them maybe up and walk around. Part of the brain break is to let them refocus and think about it
Yeah.
as well.
Does that make sense, Mohammed? Did you?
yeah, that should, like what we did a minute before, should be lesson one, and I will use lesson one to build lesson two and three, because
Okay.
I'm gonna follow the same procedure. It's gonna be different topics.
Okay. Do you when we're building these lessons, could you put them all in this one spreadsheet, like tabs at the bottom? Is that okay with you to do that? Like,
Let me
see
see what you
how
mean.
at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah, I see them now. Lesson two, lesson three.
you would
Yeah,
just like copy it or duplicate what I do, duplicate it, and then you say lesson 4, lesson 5,
perfect. That makes sense.
Is that okay?
So let's delete lesson one then.
Delete lesson 1? Okay. And then we'll name the number.
Two as one.
Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. Okay. This is great. I think it's awesome that you're like, you're trying something new and you're amazing. It's
I
not
might
easy
need.
to try new things.
And yeah, it's great to see just different language coaches planning out their lesson differently
Yeah.
with and we want your own uniqueness. We want to keep that.
Yeah. And you like, I know Avram, you know Avi, who was in your
Yeah,
class,
yeah, everyone.
and he loved you. And so like what you're keeping a lot of the elements that they like, in your lessons, and because they want to write Arabic, it sounds like, and they want to learn from you, and like you said, they want to teach each other. You're right. Like, and he liked that about your classes. So
Is he your student now?
no, I've known him since he was like, you're
Oh,
really tiny, like in utero. So yeah, his mom and I are really good friends. So
yeah, Storm for me was one of the students I was willing to give him private lessons if he wanted. The boy
oh,
was catching the language very quick, very, very quick.
awesome. Is he gonna be?
Middle was incredible too,
Oh wow.
especially like in her age.
Are they gonna do private lessons with you?
To be honest, I didn't. I told him I might provide it, but I need to settle with my life a little bit because I am way above and beyond busy.
I bet. I bet. Yeah. You're still at MSU, right?
Yeah, for some reason it's not getting over.
Oh my gosh. Did you have a lot
No,
of
it's just because I'm waiting for the residency. So
okay.
I'm working in my residency now.
Okay.
Like with COVID, um, my life, like my family life and circumstances went a little bit down. So thank God I can rely on myself now. Thank God.
Yeah.